impede on James Deane going for a 5th championship?
Oh, yeah.
You know what? This is bragging rights.
He will, yeah.
He is not just going to hand it to him. There are no team orders. Knowing Vaughn and knowing James Deane, as some mud is being thrown up, James Deane comes and swings wide on that inside clip. Look at Vaughn twisting the screws on James Deane, the 4-time champion and defending champion. James Deane brings it all the way out. They know what each driver is capable of. They know the car setup. They know what to expect, and now they're putting on a show for you. Come on now, send it, baby. RTR, Ford Mustangs here at Road Atlanta.
Oh,
let them hear ya across the globe. 6 championships between them, 4 on James Deane, 2 of Vaughn Gittin Jr., and 2
the progression of drifting where we're at. And that's why I say, you know, 2004 to 2025, holy cow, what a big jump here.
Vaughn Gittin Jr. out front, tip the tail. Yes, sir, big angle there. Vaughn Gittin Jr. goes in tight on the inside clip, now transitioning, pulling that front right off the ground. The RTR, the Nitto tires on the corners into that 3rd outside zone, and here we are once again. Boom, Vaughn Gittin Jr. hits that inside clip. James Deane narrowly lets him pass. He lets him on through, but James back to the side of the other Ford Mustang, bringing it on home. Let him know you're here. That is the epitome of sending it. These guys putting on a show. You can see the dry patch. The smoke is in the air. The Nitto tire evidence strewn about. The carbon fiber. Again, the pink Riviera, convertible Mustang.
The phone rang over in Ireland. It was Vaughn Gittin Jr., owner of RTR, says, hey, bud, I got a car. I'd love to have you. Boom, comes over. 2023 sophomore season, bang, gets a championship, and here he is. He's going against Jeff Jones, who has beat the champion before. The conditions could be a variable that could equalize the vehicles here. Again, that Mustang RTR Spec 5 FD Ford Mustang. Here comes James Deane. Now keep in mind, James Deane, a lot of practice, a lot of driving in the wet. He's from Ireland, a very wet country. They know how to drive in the wet, and he is showboating right now. Literally, it is a show boat because it is very wet out there. And the Southern California driver, Jeff Jones, doesn't see a lot of wet driving, but he would love to. He said it. He says, I'm just going to send it down the hill, man. He knows who he's going against. James Deane, I mean, again, another case of great placement, sped it up, would have been a great run, but here we are given the conditions that were dealt.
Yeah,
it's
taking
100
on James
degrees
Deane
back home, but he doesn't live too far from me, but James Deane was like wrestling a pig, and then you realize the pig is just having fun.
It's just having fun.
Got it, just clarifying.
Gotcha.
Jeff Jones out front, going against, by no means is James Deane a pig. He is an absolute weapon, man. This guy is, he is roasting those Nitto tires. That's about it. And well done by Jeff Jones out front. That Evil Auto Works Nissan 370Z. But you can see just the prowess and the menacing Ford Mustang in the rearview mirror. And you see the attitude of the car. Jeff Jones, very fluid out front. But look at James. You can see just chomping at the bit. He knows the setup too. He's like, give it to me loose. You know, give it to me. This is how I want it. He knows what he likes. He knows what he wants. And again, Jeff, a little hiccupy in spots. Like you said, that was an uphill battle going against Field.
So look at this, James Deane, your defending champion, 4-time champion, going against Matt Field. We have 2 cars already in. Frederick Osbo, Odie Bakshis are already in the final 4. James Deane will lead in that Ford Mustang Spec 5 FD. We saw how good he is in the wet. We know it, but Matt Field stepped up and he rose to the occasion. Rain continues to come down. An all-American battle, but an Irishman behind the wheel of the Mustang, filling all of that 2nd outside zone, coming into the 3rd. James Deane, I mean, it's like it's not even raining. It is raining, R-E-I-G-N, for James Deane right now, owning the track, but Matt Field, the beast of the Bay, really giving it all. And he is hanging in there. I'll tell you what, look, it is persistent.
Yeah, I mean, great run from both of them considering the amount of rain that we're now getting. I mean,
James Deane, he knows the parameters, he knows the settings that he wants, and he got what he needed. So now Matt Field will have the clean air. James Deane's a real threat in the chase position, but has he driven against Matt in the wet? Here we go, Matt Field initiates. Oh wow, what a good sweeping entry by Matt Field. James Deane giving a little bit of room, but did he give him too much? Now coming to the 2nd outside zone? Nope, he did not, because he reeled him in like a big mouth bass. Now into that 3rd outside zone, flirting with the edge of the track goes Matt Field, dials it in. James Deane
He has given himself too much of a buffer because Matt Field, that Borla Heatwave Lean Customs Corvette, is hitting the marks. And here comes James Deane, again, a defending champion. Corvette versus Mustang. This is a classic motorsports battle, regardless of the motorsport.
Yeah, okay, so
Jonathan
this one,
Castro. Here he is going for his first ever Formula Drift podium. And again, he needs to take out James Deane, which he has taken him out before many moons ago, 6 years ago. The battle, roll the tape in Orlando. James Deane leads, Jonathan Castro in the chase position. James Deane, big angle for him, goes into that inside clip, overshoots it. Castro, good composure from him. He has to re-enter and recalibrate into this second outside zone. Goes James Deane. Castro gets a little wobbly going into that third outside zone. Comes up short, good proximity from Jonathan Castro in the Metheldon Toyota GR86. Takes a bit shallower line. James Deane swings it wide. Good proximity from Castro. Again, once again, has to back off, reinitiates here. So sloppy on both sides. James Deane overshoots it, and that really threw Castro off. So this is going to be a big variable here on this portion of the Final Four.
Well, James did say he was looking for another gear to get some more speed downhill, and I think he was thinking about out of the keyhole, not down into initiation. And that little bit of gearing, if they did change it,
getting his
might have
first
been
ever
a
Formula Drift podium and in the finals. So he has to win. It's a must-win to get an FD trophy. Here comes Jonathan Castro. He's feeling calm. He's feeling collected, according to Lorette Nickel, who's up the top of the hill. Here comes Castro, middle down, Toyota GR86 on 10 tires. Past that inside clip. James Deane in the chase position. Here goes Castro up the hill and into that second outside zone. Great chase job by James Deane, but keep in mind, Castro's putting the car in the right places into the third outside zone. Perfect, spot on. Now it goes to inside clip, very shallow from Jonathan Castro. Oh, James Deane gets aggressive. He bashes the door of Castro, nudging him out of the way, but Castro stays vigilant, going to that final inside clip and drags it across and back up the hill. Take into consideration, lead versus lead, chase versus chase, a lot of eyeballs, of course, on this battle, notably. And he'd love to play spoiler against James Deane, four-time champion, defending champion. He could do it. He forced it one more time. These guys went against each other six years ago in Orlando, and probably one of the most exciting battles ever in Formula Drift history. James Deane across the nose of the Toyota GR86. James Deane fills all of that first outside zone. He brings it in tight. Castro gives him a little bit of room. He didn't get to the outside zone. Now he comes in tight.
Oh,
big angle, and Castro spins. Castro comes to a halt. James Deane will continue on. It doesn't look like they're going to throw the yellow flag. The caution is not out as Castro heads back up the hill with the tail between his tires, unfortunately. A rotation by Castro, and just jams right back up as James completes. So we saw 2-1, two one more times. One of the judges going with James Deane. Castro out front. He's going to try to force an error on James Deane. He's hoping that he makes a mistake in the chase. Castro needs to run a perfect line, fill all the zones, hit the clips. Good execution right there. That's exactly what he needed to do. He did that. Outside zone 1, inside clip 1. Now coming up the hill, that's where he made the mistake. Filling outside zone 2, perfect. Right on it. Outside zone 3, fills it. James Deane does exceed a little bit. He does go outside the track. That is a mistake. That will be a deficit, but not as magnanimous as we saw that big spin by Jonathan Castro. And now coming across, there goes Castro and Deane. And unfortunately, I think that major mistake by Jonathan Castro, that will retire him and not go to the podium, but his best finish so far. Again, unofficially. We got strobes on one side. Heck yeah, don't blind the drivers. Blinded by the light. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, send it! Frederick Osbo, James Deane. We are live. Round 2, Road Atlanta. Frederick Osbo initiates Rockstar Engineering Toyota GR Supra. Kenda tires into that first inside clip goes Frederick Osbo. Now transitioning up the hill, dialing it in. James Deane, barely some room in between the Supra and the Mustang into that third outside zone. Look at James Deane, he gets in that dirt once again. That's what he did against Castro, but he still keeps his composure, gives him a little bit of line to run the line. Goes Frederick Osbo out front. James Deane looks like he backs off. He applies the pressure, now back up the hill, past that inside clip, and across the finish line. Pretty good some dialing in of Frederick Osbo. James kind of was going back and forth, kind of wavering. Whoever makes the first mistake. I got to tell you, he did make some mistakes on that chase run. Here we go, send it for potentially the last time. Who's coming out on top here in Atlanta, round 2? And James Deane leads. He initiates in that AutoZone Mustang RTR. Now passing inside clip, the rain continues to come down. Who's going to REIGN in the rain? Rain in the rain. Into that third outside zone goes James Deane, dialing in Frederick Osbo. Look at him diving in. Really good proximity. Keeping his collection right now outside of the keyhole and the horseshoe. Look at Frederick Osbo. He wants it. That's the X factor we need to have for Frederick Osbo's camp to really own it here in Atlanta. James Deane, Frederick Osbo, great driving. I'm seeing some head shaking. That is hard to beat, dude. Here we go. The one more time battle. Let's send it. Frederick Osbo, James Deane, the one more time battle. Are we going to get a victor? Frederick Osbo in the Rockstar Energy Drink, Toyota GR Supra, Kenda Tires. James Deane in tow from Ireland, Norway versus Ireland, Mustang versus Supra, Ford versus Toyota. The rain continues to come down. Frederick Osbo navigates his way into, whoa, gets a little hairy there, into that second outside zone, now to the third outside zone. Top of the key, can he unlock it? Here comes into the key and out of the keyhole. Look at the flow-gram exiting out. Look at the elevation change. You can see them coming down the hill, harnessing the speed, harnessing the energy. James Deane looks like he checks up just a little bit as Frederick Osbo narrowly avoids some contact past the finish line and getting involved with that rumble strip. And you got to think going counter course. That is going against the grain of that rumble strip. Battle now that we are looking at James Deane out front, Frederick Osbo, click the stamp and send it. Here we go, return to sender. We'll see who gets top of the box. Will be the same order. Osbo won in Long Beach, he won here last year. Can he do it again? James Deane, again, notoriously great in the wet. Frederick Osbo likes the frozen rain. We're talking about ice racing. James Deane in that second outside zone, puts it in there, sticks that Ford Mustang in there, no problem. Mustang in a box, and the Toyota Supra nosing in great proximity. You can see them diving in on the inside. Now as they exit out of the keyhole, Frederick Osbo applying the pressure consistently, not having it dart in. He keeps the same measured approach, brings it around that last, and look at that transition, just narrowly escaped. That was really, the Mustang. Let's send it for potentially the one last time. We're gonna have a decision. Slide him left or slide him right, regardless, they slide him into the first outside zone. Coming down the hill, the iconic Road Atlanta. The rooster tail off the back of the Supra, the Ford Mustang into that inside clip. Bring it a little wide there as Frederick Osbo now back up the hill. Snapping transition, the X factor is what they're looking for. Into that second outside zone, now bring it into the third outside zone. Coming into the keyhole, James Deane with a little bit more angle. That seems to be his move. He really flirts with the edge of the track, and now coming outside of the keyhole. They were in there once thinking we had a victor. A little bit of technology went a long way, and now coming back past that inside clip. These guys riding jet skis as opposed to drift cars, 1,000 horsepower last time. And what an exciting day it's been. It's been wet, it's been windy, it's been cold. But who will get the win here at round 2, Road Atlanta 2025. James Deane leads. The Type S lights are on in the Type S finals. Coming past that inside clip for the second one more time. The third battle between these two guys. Frederick Osbo got the win in Long Beach. He got the win here last year. James Deane, the defending champion, comes into that outside zone number 3. Past an inside clip, absolutely on it. Frederick Osbo chases him down, hunts him down like a big game mantelpiece. Let's see what taxidermy, if we're gonna have a Mustang or a Supra hanging on the wall. Now past that last outside